The VolQuest 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Alongside Eric Kane, I'm Austin Price. Craven Wings 2-Minute Drill on this Thursday. We're one day from game day, Tennessee and Clemson. And on this Thursday, we got to hear from Josh Heupel and Dabo Swinney. And it was your typical, hey, they've had a great year, we've had a great year, song and dance. The most notable thing was Jimmy Himes asked Josh Heupel about has he made any progress on hiring an offensive coordinator. And Coach Heupel said they will take care of that after the bowl game, but then doubled back and called it the tight ends coach. Yeah. And that's something we've all been saying at VolQuest for several weeks now. This is likely to be a tight ends hire, not an offensive coordinator hire, which leads me to believe that Joey Halzle has got a great chance to be Tennessee's next offensive coordinator.
And again, it was kind of so discreet that I even did not pick up on that until I went back and watched the tape. But again, like you said, nothing new. We've been kind of saying this here at VolQuest for a while, and so on. It kind of looks like Joey Halzle, was asked about how does that change his in-game preparation or his in-game strategy for tomorrow night's Orange Bowl. And Josh Heupel said it doesn't really do anything because it's such a collaborative effort. But again, if the tight ends coach is made, then you're going to promote from within, slap that title on there, and it will likely be a guy like Joey Halzle. So interesting here in the press conference earlier today, and something that I didn't even pick up on.
Halzle been with Josh Heupel for 15 plus years. Glenn Ellerbe has been with Heupel for 8 plus years. There's a lot of continuity, on the offensive side of the ball. Game planning, play calling doesn't change a whole lot, even though Golesh is gone. But I don't think you can just totally dismiss the fact that Alex Golesh did a really nice job here. And, they'll have a trickle-down effect, even if it's minimal, with him not being here for the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is the nation's #1 offense. This is the nation's top-scoring offense. In-game roles, play calling. I mean, Alex Golesh did not call every single play in this football game or any football game, but he called some. And so you're exactly right. You're not just going to assume like, oh, that's no big deal whatsoever. They'll have to kind of figure it out, and it won't all be figured out here in this one football game. But the continuity for this staff, as you pointed out, Halsey is nothing but an extension of Josh Heupel. Glenn Ellerbe, it's not disastrous whatsoever, and it's certainly not disastrous for one football game against a good opponent.
When I look at the other things, the other highlights that were talking about transfer portal, Dabo talking about he'd like to see some tweaks. They've not dabbled too much in the transfer portal, but he said that's based off the fact that he's in his 14th year, and they are from a development and kind of stability standpoint way better than like a lot of programs are in college football that are seeing change and need to go to the transfer portal. The one thing that I do like that Clemson has done is the last 2 years they got Hunter Johnson last year to come back from Northwestern, the former Clemson turned Northwestern, now turned current Clemson backup. Yeah. And then they got Paul Tyson last week out of the transfer portal, former Alabama and Arizona State quarterback, who's probably going to go into coaching, much like Hunter Johnson. It kind of be a playing GA, so to speak, in an emergency situation. As we see across college football, late in the year, people opting out, people transferring. You could be really thin at that quarterback spot, and having an older guy like that who's more invested in the long-term future as a coach and can play if need be, much kind of like Zeb Nolan at South Carolina last year, helps a program.
Yeah, and Dabo did go back and say, hey, we've been in it a little bit. It's just not the way that we're kind of built. And to Dabo's credit, I mean, they have a championship program. They've been in national championships. They've won national championships. So you're right. You don't have to go in there and try to find immediate fixes. But I don't know. I was kind of put off a little bit. I mean, it was just him just crapping on the transfer portal for about 5 minutes or whatever. He goes on and says that the transfer portal 100% affects high school recruiting, and if you're building your team the right way, no, it does not. And so I don't know. You have two different coaches with two different viewpoints on the transfer portal. But again, to Dabo's credits, their program has a solid foundation, so they're not as active, but they still go in there and supplement just like everybody else does.
I think what he more meant there was it hurts the high school recruiting overall, because like all of the group of fives are waiting on players from Clemson and Tennessee to transfer out and then end up there at an Eastern Kentucky or Middle Tennessee State or that type level instead of going the high school route. So overall, the high school recruiting does get hampered by the transfer portal, maybe just not at the elite of the elite. Yeah. He's Eric Kane. I'm Austin Price. Don't forget Craven Wings, a great spot to tailgate tomorrow. Pick up those wings. Tailgate from home and watch the Vols and Clemson coming up tomorrow night.
When you're Craven Wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.